Big time credit to Chris Duncan for making tremendous improvements in his game and notching his third straight victory while pulling off the upset against Mateusz Rombeski, who is actually the second step in our Locky two-step. So unfortunately, we have to rip up our ticket there. In hindsight, that spot should have probably been filled in by Carol Hosa, who was actually in our Locky Trinity. And then obviously the first step in the Locky two-step with was Esteban Ribovics, and that would have cashed at a decent number. But unfortunately, Rombeski does not get it over the line for us, and we have to rip up our Locky two-step ticket there, and obviously our Locky Trinity. I got another one for you guys here for UFC Vegas 109. Hopefully getting back into the win column here. We have been slumping just a smidgen, but still plenty of time to keep this thing rolling. And I know this is what you guys really enjoy. You guys enjoy the parlays, but let's try to get on track now and actually cash these tickets for you guys as well. All right, let's get right into it. First step in the Locky two-step. And again, this is a very chalky card, so not the type of odds that I would normally like for these types of parlays. I'd like to get plus money for the Locky two-step. I like to try to at least get plus 200 for the Locky Trinity, but that's not the case this week. So much chalk. I don't think many of the underdogs are all that worthy. Last week there were a few that ended up cashing, but I just can't instill enough confidence to actually, back some of these closer lines here. I think outside of the Cody Brundage fight, every fight on this card has a favorite that's minus 200 or greater. So for parlays, you're going to have to put together a ton of spots. But again, there are going to be some landmines on the card, and I hope you guys checked out the chalk or not segment that I dropped earlier this week. That'll help you kind of navigate which chalky spots you should be targeting and which ones you should be avoiding. All right, let's get right into the Locky two-step. First step up, we're going to go with Jocelyn Edwards, who's going up against Priscilla Cachoeira. Edwards is on a 2-fight winning streak, finishing both of those matchups, and it seems like there is a confidence in her now, especially since she joined forces with Valentina Shevchenko, helping her out in her training camps against Alexa Grasso. And I think that, Edwards will showcase those improvements once again, largely with her grappling. And once fights hit the ground, she normally has an aggressive jiu-jitsu game, and I think that will allow her to get to a dominant position and eventually pull off a submission within 2 rounds. But I think she is definitely one of the better chalky spots on this card to help us cash this Locky two-step. The second step that we're going to go with is in the main event with Anthony Fluffy Hernandez as he takes on Roman Dolidze, and I'm finally happy to see Hernandez getting the due that he's supposed to. The guy's very talented, smothering grappling game, insane cardio, insane pace. I think he's really going to put it on Dolidze here. Dolidze might have some success early, but once he starts feeling those takedowns and the pace that Hernandez is going to put on him, that's where I think we see Dolidze start to slow down. So I like Hernandez a good bit here, so much so to put him into the Locky two-step. And I was able to lock this parlay in earlier this week at minus 138. And it's actually the same now. It's minus 138 now because there was action on Edwards that's brought her up to about minus 370. And there's been action against Hernandez, which has brought him down to about minus 280. So it ends up evening out. We get the same number there. In terms of the Locky Trinity, I'm going to go with my guy Gene Matsumoto, who's taken on Miles Johns. Now, Johns faced a somewhat similar fighter last time around against Philippe Lima, but I think Matsumoto is a little bit more dangerous with the combinations and Muay Thai strikes that he throws. He stays very consistent with a lead leg kick to slow his opponents down, and then he lets his punches go in bunches so that they can really land with significant damage and really make it look clear to the judges that he's the one in control. He has an improving grappling game as well, which obviously helped him out in certain spots against Rob Font last time around. Any fight that I thought Matsumoto deserved to win is what it is, should still be undefeated, but I think he earns his 17th pro win this weekend by going to a decision against Miles Johns and making it look very convincing as well. So Gene Matsumoto will be the final step in the Locky Trinity. I was able to lock it in at plus 130 earlier this week. Seems like the public is coming in a little bit on Miles Johns, which has brought Matsumoto down to about that minus 270, minus 280 range. So now you can actually get this 3-leg parlay at plus 136. All right. I'll be back tomorrow for the prop drop. Reminder, there are 3 regional shows going down this weekend as well as an appetizer to the UFC Vegas 109 card. I'll have breakdowns for all 3, KSW, OKTAGON, and PFL Africa, strictly on the Lock of the Night Patreon page. Check the link in the description below for that. Otherwise, I'll see you guys again tomorrow for the UFC Vegas 109 prop drop. Peace.